people, welcome to another exciting topic. Today, this is your host, Ucacisa Mgulwa, and this is another episode of Property Talk _ Ucacisa. Today, I'm back on your screen and I am coming back with a good, exciting topic, and I'm hoping that you're going to learn something out of this topic. Today, I'm going to take you through the process of how to formalize a legal structure or a legal use. Let's say you built yourself some units, and out of those units, you are renting them out and you're generating income. So there's no building plan that existing, they've never been approved by the municipality. So then you ask yourself, how do I formalize this business? How do I formalize this existing use that I'm operating out of my property? So today's topic, that is the purpose of what I'm going to do today. So get yourself a pen and a paper so that you can jog all the important information, all the steps that I've been taking you through so that you can be on the right side of the law.
Paper and
Okay, so let me take you through then the process of legalizing the illegal use and also getting an approved building plans. One thing you need to understand is that for you to operate any use in your property, you need to get an approval from a local municipality, from the town planning department. It's a town planning department that grants the rights for any property that falls within their jurisdiction. And for you to build any structure in your property, a building plan must be approved. So if you've never undergone through those processes, that means whatever that you are operating, whatever business you're operating, it's illegal. Okay, let's start then from step number one. Let's give you an example. Let's say you have student accommodation in your property. You have some students that are residing in your property. You have 5 units. And you're getting income out of that property. So it's no longer a normal residential zone. It's another residential zone that could be 2 or 3 or 4, or it can be classified as a business zone because there's income that you're generating out of that property. So there are 2 processes that you need to undertake in this process. Firstly, you're going to deal with the use, and secondly, you need to deal with the structure that you have built without the building plans. So there are no building plans. The land use that you are generating, income out of is not approved by terms of the town planning regulations. Therefore, you need an approval. So step number 2, how then do you legalize the uses? How then do you get an approved building plan? First and foremost, you will need to submit an application in terms of the bylaw or in terms of the zoning scheme. So I always advise people that for you to even to compile that application, for you to even to appoint a town planner to compile that application for you, firstly, formalize yourself with a bylaw of the municipality or even the zoning scheme of the municipality so that you can understand what is required. Because you can't just go, and do a process without even understanding the cons and the pros of that. So, firstly, you go to the local municipality website and you download a zoning scheme of the local municipality. In that zoning scheme, you go to a chapter that deals with the town planning issues when it comes to rezoning and the zoning of a municipality. So you download the bylaw of the municipality or the zoning scheme of the local municipality. It depends on what regulations they use in the town planning department when they deal with development applications. So other municipalities, they use a bylaw, other municipalities, they use a zoning scheme. So you'll check then in the website which document that will be relevant to your local municipality. So then you'll need to read through then, let's say the zoning scheme of that local municipality, so that you need to understand what is the designation of student accommodation in terms of the zoning. So once you understand that, then you'll know that it's either you need to rezone the existing use so to accommodate your development, or it's to say that maybe you need to apply for a consent use. So it will be either way. It's either a rezoning application or a consent application. So let me just give you an understanding. What is a rezoning? I don't want to assume that everybody knows what is a rezoning. A rezoning is a process to change the zoning of the property to a different zone. So in simple terms, it is a process that you need to undertake for you to change the approved land use or approved zoning to a different zone for you to operate whatever business or proposal that you want to do in your property. And what is a consent use, Steph? A consent use is a granting of developmental rights without changing the formal zoning of the property. So in simple terms, it is for you to be granted a consent to operate the business or the use without changing the zoning of your property. So I hope you get that. And then now you understand that, okay, for me to get the correct rights to operate my student accommodation or to have these multiple units to rent them out, I need to submit a rezoning application or a consent application. So what do I do then next? You go to your local municipality and submit an application so that you can now start the process of formalizing the illegal use and also the process of getting an approved building plan. So you go to your local municipality and then you consult a town planner, and the town planner in that local municipality will advise you of what you need to do or what is required for you to formalize the illegal use and also to get an approved building plan. So in that whole meeting with the town planner and the local municipality, then they will give you an application form, and also they will tell you how much you need to pay for the application to be processed within the municipality. In that application form, there will be a section where it will outline the required documentation for your application to be assessed. So part of those documentation will be as built site development plan and also a title deed. A title deed to prove that you are actually the owner of the property. And as built plan, that means a plan is as built, the existing structure is already built. Then it should show that, okay, this is what is already existing and this is what I want to formalize, and that will be on the drawing of the plan. Then you go back home, you compile all the necessary documentation, you fill in the form, and then you go back to the town planner of the local municipality. Then the designated town planner will be appointed to assess your application. And one of the processes that will be undertaken within the local municipality is to circulate your application to other internal departments to get comment on application. Remember, town planners in the local municipality don't work in isolation. They work with other relevant departments that needs to comment in your application. So once all departments have commented and the town planner has assessed the application, it goes straight to the decision-making body. The decision-making body of the local municipality is called Municipal Planning Tribunal, that is the MPT of the local municipality. That is a decision-making body that will decide on your application. They will decide either to approve it or they decide either to reject it. That's what it means. So once then the decision has been taken by the MPT, that is the Municipal Planning Tribunal of the local municipality, you'll be notified as an applicant, as an owner. These are the outcomes of your application. It's either it's in your favor or it's rejected. The confirmation, it will be through an approval letter. So for you to know that your application has been approved, you'll receive a letter from the local municipality of the outcomes of your application. And also there are instances where people, they say, they are complainer, I've been waiting for so long to receive the outcome of my application. Why is it delaying? Others, they say it even takes 5 years, 6 years. They just get so demoralized in actually undertaking this process because other municipalities, they don't pay attention into their needs. So with the new SPLUMA, one thing I love about the new SPLUMA, that is the new planning law, is that it gives a condition that municipalities, they need to stipulate in their bylaws the period they need to take to assess the application. Other municipalities, they will say in their bylaws that for them to undertake and to assess your application, it will take 12 months. Others, it will say 2 years. Others will say 6 months. So it's important then that you really go and read that bylaw so that you can understand what are the periods of that application to be assessed. So that if it takes long, you challenge the local municipality, either complain to the office of the municipal manager or through the office of the mayor. You say, Mayor, I don't know what is going on. I've submitted my application a year ago. I have not received any notification. What is going on? Okay, now you move to the next step. After now you've received an approval letter from a local municipality that the town planning land use has been approved. Therefore, you can now be able to operate the student accommodation. However, there are conditions in that approval letter. One of the conditions will be for you to submit a building plan. Because remember, we said there are two processes here. It's the legalizing of the land use and also getting an approved building plan. So we have dealt with the first process of the town plan requirement. Now we have to deal with the second process of approval of the building plan. So then what you need to do is to appoint a draftsman or an architect to draft the plans. So your plans will be as built plans because the structure is already existing. So the architect will submit then the building plan to the local municipality, and they will have to attach the approval letter in that plan that he will be submitting. That plan is submitted in the building plan department. In that process as well, within the municipality, they will circulate a building plan to various departments within that department. They will circulate to stormwater for comment. They will circulate to sewage for drainage. They will circulate it to fire, electricity, even town planning to check, to confirm if the right has been approved. Let's say their plan is approved and you receive a confirmation in terms of a letter that your building plan has been approved and this is the copy of your building plan. As a property owner, then you need to write or contact your municipality to request the building inspector to come to your property to check the structure so that you can get an occupational certificate. An occupational certificate. It's very important. It's very important for insurance purposes. It's very important for the bank in terms of the bond. So the building inspector will come to your property and assess the existing structure and check the approved building plan. Does it comply or is it aligned to what is existing? So if you see that the existing structure is not the same as what has been submitted in terms of the building plan, then the occupational certificate will not be granted. But if everything is aligned, it's the same, the existing structure and the building plan is the same, then you will get the occupational certificate, because it's one of the important certificates that you need to have when you have a building structure. So it's one of those processes is so important that you need to understand, because other people, they feel so demoralized and so discouraged when somebody tells them that, you know what, you're operating this illegal use and the structure doesn't have a building plan. You feel like, let me just let it go and walk away from the deal. There are processes that you will need to follow. You know, it's not the end of the world. You need to follow the legal processes. Okay, now then you've got your approval. Your building plan has been approved. You have a occupational certificate. Your land use right is aligned to what you are operating. Then you are free to operate your business. You are free to have those student accommodation. You are free to use those units for rental income. Okay, lastly, before I say goodbye and close off the session, I think, let me briefly just to explain what is an occupational certificate. I don't want to assume that everybody knows what it is and what is the importance of it, therefore. So let me just briefly take you through it. I'm not going to dwell much on it. I will have a separate video for occupational occupational certificate, because I believe that it's very important for anyone to know, especially if you have intentions of extending or you are operating whatever that you're doing and you've built without an approved building plans. So let me take you through then that occupational certificate is to certify that the building or the home has completed in accordance with the approved building plans and clearance certificates. So what simply means that it's a certificate that will be issued to certify that the existing structure, the existing home has been completed in accordance with the approved building plan from the municipality. Secondly, very important that you need to understand, you need to know, take notes. Occupational certificate will not be issued if there are no approved building plan from your local municipality, plus any documentation from a town planning department regarding the rezoning or the building amendments or renovations if necessary. So a occupational certificate will not be issued if the building plans are not approved and also you have not been granted the right from the town planning department. Thirdly, one of the main reasons for this certificate to be issued is with regards to safety, and also it is with regards to insurance coverage. And you cannot be covered. You can be covered, but the municipality, the insurance will not pay out if they request that occupational certificate if something happens with your structure. So if your structure gets damaged, the building, and there's a member of the public, is affected, or any other situation, and now you want to claim to the local, want to claim to your insurance. The insurance will request, can you please provide us with occupational certificate? If you don't have, you give them a loophole for them not to pay out. Lastly, once occupational certificate has been obtained, the owner of property should lodge copies with the bank, particularly if the property is mortgaged, as well as the home or the property insurance. So once you get that certificate, go straight to your bank and issue them the certificate, and then they can keep it as a record. So whatever happens in the future, you are covered. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you so much for listening to this video. It was great, an honor for me to present it to you. So family, that's it from my side. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Thank you very much for your support and also sharing my video. It was good. I enjoyed this, and I'm hoping that you also enjoyed and you were able to get something out of it. So until we see each other again, we meet, keep well and God bless. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and keep sharing those videos, keep liking them, and also keep commenting on them, because it's good sometimes to get feedback from you guys to know if you have learned anything out of it. God bless. Love you.